Hey everybody, it's me Lex. If you have not subscribed, please do so and definitely share this video to someone who needs to hear it. So I'm gonna have to rant for a second. Most of you know that I work in the legal field as well as my private business is life coaching. And I have heard some very horrific stories. And of course, there's some good people and there's some bad people out there, some horrible people out there, terrible people. And I ask, well, why did no one do anything? Why did no one say anything? And I know that most of us will consider ourselves to be good people. But I want you to really ask yourself and really think, are you the good person that you think you are? And what do I mean? And I mean, how many times have you turned a blind eye or ignored some bullcrap that has happened? How many times have you watched your friends, your family members, your boss, your city officials, your pastors do some crap and you just look the other way? You didn't help. You didn't say anything. You did not hold them accountable. And that's why bad people continue to get away with their crap. It's because they are not being held accountable, because there is no consequence for their actions. And you may still be like, oh no, I speak up. Okay, well, let's go through a couple of common examples. How many of you have watched your coworker or your boss steal something from work? How many of you have watched your friends or family members treat one child better than the other? Keeping it with parents and children, how many of you have watched someone that you know and love project and force their children to participate in an activity that the child doesn't even like, because the parent is trying to live their life and what they think they missed out on through the child? How many of you have turned the other way when your partner, your friend, your homie, your family member has a loyal and devoted partner at home who is good to them, and they cheat on their person, and you don't check your friend, you don't check your family member? Now, I ain't talking about a cheater that's cheating on a cheater. We can save that for a different video. But I'm talking about someone you know has a good person and they're mistreating them. They're abusive, physically, emotionally, verbally abusive to their partner, to their children, to their workers. You don't say anything. To the pastor who cheats on his wife with the congregation and the rest of the town. And you sit up in church and say, amen, pastor. Beats on her. You don't say a word. How many times have you done that? How many times have you passed down generation after generation, years of trauma and abuse through your family because you refuse to report Uncle Richard or Aunt Sally? But everyone knows not to leave the children around them. How many of you are guilty of that? How many of you have willingly and participated and engaged inappropriately with someone that you know is in a committed relationship? And before you say, oh, I don't owe that person anything, I didn't make no vows to them, that is the most side piece ass shit I've ever heard in my life. How about owe it to yourself not to be used and belittled and downgraded to being so cheap, to being only good enough to sneak around with? How about that? And instead of checking them, You smiling and giggling. You going along with it. Ask yourselves those questions. And how many of them have you done? And if there's other things that you've seen and that you think of, put them in the comments. Because this world is a hot mess. To put it in few words, it's a hot mess. But if there are really, truly more good people than bad people, then the good people have to stand up. The good people have to speak up. And we have to hold those accountable. That's it. Rant over. Talk to y'all later.